Hello gamers, today I'm going to tell you how I went 250 games without win in chapter 5 and what I had to do to finally get that victory royale. So grab your favorite snack and let me share this story with you.
Here I come. Oh, here I come. Oh.
250 games without a win is a lot, but that's exactly what happened to me. I went from playing chill games landing at random spots just passing time to going all in tryhard mode just to get this one victory. But before I tell you how I made it, let's rewind a bit to give you some context. I played a little bit of Fortnite way back in chapter 1 and a whole lot when chapter 4 dropped. I could pretty easily get to win every 20 games or so, and I even made a YouTube video about getting a 10 elimination dub, check it out later. So I thought I was ready for chapter 5. But it turned out the other way. Chapter 5 brought new challenge, different map, new weapons, new movement and bullet drop. But I didn't care too much. I took my time to explore different landing spots, weapons and routes, sticking to my aggressive playstyle, which meant a lot of fighting and also a lot of death.
You're goddamn right.
With all the fighting, my elimination count slowly went up and I felt more confident than ever getting to the top spots. But that elusive victory royale remained just out of reach, and surely that need for dub was starting to itch, so I decided to come up with a strategy.
It's Morbin time.
When I found out how OP the Medallions were, I trusted myself that I could get all 5 of them, and with that huge advantage, it seemed it would be a piece of cake eliminating other players. My route started at Grand Glacier, where I would rotate into Weather Tower or Reckless Railroads, depending on my timing, which would give me a pretty good early start with 2 medallions and a reasonably strong loadout with 2 mythic weapons and auto shotgun. Afterwards, I would rotate towards the west of the island to meet other 2 medallion players, and by the time I was done with them, the 5th medallion owner would appear by himself. Turns out it wasn't that simple. I got so fixated on medallions that I forgot about crucial aspects of the game. Rushing for them made me completely oblivious, and I would often die because of picking the wrong fight, a third party showing up, or I would even find myself so out of position that I would die in a storm. And as if that wasn't bad, the trifecta of evil emerged: ballistic shields, bush camping snipers, and a pest of players waiting for me to eliminate the boss were more and more apparent.
Bruh.
So I needed a change. Lavish Lair became my new landing spot, hunting for that sweet mythical auto shotgun, which proved effective when fighting against shield players. I also decided on picking up a sniper too, because fight fire with fire, right? But the most annoying thing, boss campers were still a problem, and turned out Lavish Lair attracted cracked players like flies to a fireplace, which made me suffer 24/7. But of course, I wasn't backing down. I started to watch streamers, trying to find the answer there, and one thing stood out to me. In any fight, even in the messy ones, they could always find other players without seeing them so well that at times it looked like black magic to me. And as I thought about it more, I understood what's going on. To explain, let me take you to another battle royale, Spellbreak. Spellbreak was a great game. Fighting using magic spells, fun movement and lots of action. And the most important part, it had projectile-based weapons. When a projectile is shot, it takes time to reach a target, so the key to success in Spellbreak was predicting what the other players will do and where they will go. I realized that Fortnite streamers don't just magically keep track of players they are fighting, they are extremely good at predicting where they will go and what they will do. And boy, did I start to predict. I was finally consistently getting out of Lavish Lair, which was arguably the hardest part. But at this point I had already played 200 games and I wanted to finally win so badly that the pressure I was putting on myself to perform was over the top. In the mid-game, I could make great shockwave plays whenever needed. I could hit some sick sniper shots, I could deal with shield players like they are AI, but when I needed my skills the most, at the endgame, they were gone. But as I said, I wasn't going to back down, so I pushed even harder until I got to this game. In the early game, not many people hit the lavish layer, and I had plenty of time to prepare my loot. So when Peter's kin came looking for me, I was absolutely ready to whoop his ass. After only hearing shots from the other side of the POI, I decided to rush the boss before anyone else shows up and third parties me, which felt risky, but I thought that was the right decision at the time. After I grabbed the loot, I hunted for the other player and found him still on the other side of the POI. Then it was finally time to head for the vault and grab my missing guns. In the mid-game, I started to hunt for another Medallion owner, but there was no way I could spot them, so I decided to go for the cache instead to top up my shields. Now, fully stacked, I decided to go to Fencing Fields because I saw there was another Medallion holder, and possibly the owner of Niche Striker AR, which is definitely one of the most powerful weapons right now. This player wasn't hiding at all, so I was able to spot him out very quickly. And a quick headshot was all it took. Sadly, he didn't have the Mythic AR, but I was able to pick up Mythic SMG instead, which is still a good weapon. Now it was time to go to the loot island, to control the land from the high above. As I got there, I noticed that someone else was landing here, so I tried to get the high ground on this small island, but what I didn't expect is that they landed on the very same island and it surprised me, but I was still able to come out on top. After not spotting anyone, it was time to head for the next circle, where I was met by another sniper player, but it didn't end too well for them. And while I was heading for the loot, I noticed that someone else was there. After a little bit of digging, I found them in a really bad spot, and it was an easy fight for me, and this player finally had the Mythic AR, so my loot was absolutely topped going into the endgame. Now I started to go completely positional play, going for the best spots in each circle, while trying to spot other players. That way. When I finally found someone, it was clear that my biggest nightmare is here, a shield user. I wanted to try to snipe them from safe distance, but of course they wouldn't go out of the cover. And as for the other player, I had no idea where they was, so I wasn't exactly wanting to engage right now. So I kept rotating to the next circle. There I found him out of cover, but I missed my shot, and all the trees were making him quite safe behind them. That's when the third player appeared, and I was able to quickly get another elimination. And now it was just two of us, me and the shield user. I had the high ground, but he had a lot of cover options, which made it impossible to engage without risking it all. So I waited for his next move, and when he finally moved, I was able to hit this very lucky sniper shot. And now it was time to go in.